Trying to make sure I don't look crusty on the camera, girl. A little lip gloss. This thing is too loud. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. It's actually like almost 3 p.m. I slept in today. I slept on my couch. I don't know, I was so nervous yesterday. I was so nervous, so I stayed on the couch and I listened to, you know how some YouTube videos have like a fireplace and like moody music? So I like those sometimes. Like right now, this is like a piano worship, and it says it has Bible verses. So this one is saying He's in control, and it's just like instrumental. So I like stuff like that. And I usually listen to another one at night that's like rain sounds, and it has the Psalms or like Bible verses for whatever it might be, like protection while you sleep, etc. So anyway, I sat on the couch last night and I was mentally preparing myself for today to send my book proposal. It feels really crazy to say that. And I'm still processing. I'm literally, my computer's over there and I'm preparing myself to go open it and finalize my proposal. So in learning, because I don't know the first thing about publishing a book, so in learning, oh my god, these strands, in learning about the process, I learned that you need to have a query letter, which is the letter that you send the publisher to say, hey, this is what my book is about, this is why I think you should consider taking it on. Please see my attached information about the book, right? So you kind of just want to give them a quick overview so that they know. People, you have to make sure you have a good query letter, from what I understand, because that's what's gonna let them make a quick determination in about like 30 seconds whether they even want to read your proposal or not, right? If it's something that they're interested in. And when you send a email like that to an agent, they decide whether they want to take it on or not, and then they go to a publisher, like a publishing house, and then they present your book, and it can either get picked up or whatever. But pretty much by that point, from what I understand, if an agent takes on your book, they truly believe that it has a shot of being, a book that's out on the shelves. So you want to make sure that you have everything ready to present it to the agent, with all the information, like how would this book be marketed? Who is your target audience? Are there comparable titles right now on the market? Like, where would your book sit on the bookshelves? It's so much, and like I've done it all. I've been working on this book since last year, June. So today's March, Avril, May, Juin. So it's been about 9 months since I've been working on this book. The thing is, I didn't know it was gonna be a book at first. I've talked about this before. I didn't know it was gonna be a book, but like I journaled, and then I saw my whole arc and like transformation from who I used to be, who I was becoming, and I was recording every step of the process, and I kept seeing God's fingerprint all over it. Like I kept seeing moments where I would pray for something, and then God would answer me. And it's like, it's so crazy because like I used to hear people say that before, and I used to be like, God is talking to y'all. But like I didn't understand that when you hear the voice of God, like you don't necessarily have to hear an audible voice, right? Like I've never heard God say, hey Mondina, like no, it's not that. Like for me, I've learned that he speaks to me through obviously dreams and visions. Like, I have dreams and I wake up the next day just clear-headed, and I start writing down my dreams, and I started having a dream log, so I would track patterns, because the dreams would be like every night, and it would be related to the things that I was thinking about, talking about, writing about, and praying about. I would have visions of, like, I would just sit there and I would just think of something and it'd be beautiful. And I'm like, wait, could I do that? And then I'd write it down. I'm like, okay. So there were patterns and signs, but I guess the most important, the most, not important, the biggest way that I know God speaks to me is through the people around me. Like, we have our own relationship, because people don't gotta know our business, right? And I would pray to God about something. I kid you not. The very next day, it makes me so emotional to think about, but like the very next day, my mom would come to me and like would tell me something. And just her motherly, overbearing helicopter mom, always in my business kind of way, right? Like, I love her. She's just always that's like she'll see you and won't necessarily have to like ask you what's wrong or whatever, but like in her brain she already senses something, right? And it's like, you're not in my prayers to Jesus, how could you possibly know this, right? And then I specifically remember, oh my God, I'll never forget that day. I had a dream when God was giving me, oh, I'm getting goosebumps, when God was giving me dreams of A&R, which is my other platform, and he was showing me, what he was calling me to do in this assignment, which was to, write this book and everything. I can't ever forget this. I woke up. I got woken up by my mom, actually. So I had that dream, right? So I think, no, I'm misremembering. So I think it was a series of consecutive dreams, but it was all related to the things he was calling me to do and how I was going to be gaining visibility. And I remember being terrified at the time, because, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing, Jesus? Like, why are you calling me to the light? Why are you asking me to speak? Why are you putting me in front of these people? And like, I have to share my story. I have to, like, I love talking, and I love understanding why I went through certain things, because I don't want to make the same mistake twice, right? So like, I'm always repurposing my pain and like putting it into words and language, and that not only helps me potentially help someone later, but it's my own process in order for me to understand why it happened, so that it doesn't happen again, right? So like, in me journaling and doing all of that, I'm so thankful that like it can potentially help someone else, because I can, when I read it and I understand it, someone could be talking to me about something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I went through the same thing, and here's what helped me, so I just love that this is how my brain works. Like, I process out loud, and something can happen to me and I just like, oh, whatever, like I need to understand it. Like, why did this happen? What did I do? What was my role in this? Like, what version of me allowed this, or it's either I didn't know, or I had no boundaries, or I was naive. Whatever it is, I need to understand it, right? Anyway, it was a series of dreams I had been having where I was realizing that God was calling me to speak, right? And speaking in front of people, I don't know, man. I used to say that's not my ministry, but clearly he's showing me that it is. So I'm over here like, just having my own conversation with Jesus. Like, please, like, why are you doing this? I remember looking it up one day and I was like, is it biblical to be terrified, like, when God is calling you to the light? And I'm seeing, like, at that point, I hadn't started reading the Bible yet. But I started reading the Bible from front to back. But I remember hearing stories about like people being afraid of God and things like that, right? But when I looked it up, I saw all these Bible characters who literally ran, hit their faces. Like, they're like, God, please pick somebody else. Literally anyone else. Don't pick me. I can't speak. I can't this. Like, all these excuses, right? So it made me feel better, because at first I was like, God, thank you for calling me, because now you're about to change my life. Hallelujah. Like, thank you. You're about to change my life. So I'm grateful, but also, oh my God, I am terrified. How am I gonna do this? Like, I was so scared, right? Anyway, long story short, I get woken up on a morning from one of those dreams by my mom. She's like, girl, I just got off the phone with my friend, and she was like, Mondina's about to be famous. Huh? She says, mind you, I had, like, I'm even thinking about this right now, like, goosebumps, please, like, don't upset me. Like, I'm just now getting woken up out of my sleep, right? And my mom is telling me how her friend just told her that I'm about to be famous because of, she was pretty much saying in the conversation that, like, when Mondina, like, gets like a book deal, or she didn't say book necessarily, it was like when she becomes a thing and she has some sort of event that's like visible, like a big event, like, call me so I can come to New York and like be a part of the event. Oh my God, when I tell you, immediately I start crying. I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, I was just having a dream in that moment, like, and it was just like immediate confirmation that, like, oh no, babe, like, we're bringing you to the light. Like, there's no hiding. There's no more like, I'm not this, I'm not good at, like, no, you're going. And in that moment, I just completely fell to my face, just like completely surrendered. Like, God, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'll do it. I don't know that I can. I don't know, but I'll do it. But it was like confirmation, like, so I forgot the point I was making. Oh yeah, like, this is just one of the ways that I know the Lord speaks to me, like, there's no reason why immediately I'm getting woken up with confirmation of a dream I was just having about God telling me he's gonna bring me forth to, like, share my story with people. Like, that just feels too, I don't believe in coincidences as a person. That too much of a coincidence, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, no, that is your voice, Jesus, and I see it. Bet. So yeah, the point is, I have been working on this book for the past few months, building out the spine of the book, the arc, chapter outlines. My book proposal is done, my query letter is done, and when I submit the proposal to the agent, I need to include a chapter sample. So I spent the past few weeks just working on figuring out, like, which chapter to include, and, like, I think I found a good one. Chapter 1, I found a good way to make that chapter, like, meaningful and make it a big, like, not big, but like a good chapter, well, a good book opener that makes you want to go on to the next page. I'm so nervous. Like, I can't lie and say I'm not nervous. I'm really, really nervous. I'm no longer terrified, because I know he is in control. And I know, like, he's the one that's gone before me, and literally I would wake up from one of these dreams and start writing down my book. Like, I would start writing my book. Immediately I get woken up from my dream, open up my computer next door, like next to me, and I would just start writing stuff. Like, it was like downloads after downloads after downloads, like, as soon as I wake up. And it was just so strange, because I had never experienced anything like that ever in my life, but it just wouldn't stop coming. Like, and I got to a point I was like, Jesus, please, like, slow down the ideas, because this is a lot. This is a lot. And it's like book idea, content idea, an idea for my second book, What do you mean my second book? I don't even have a first one, like, fully out. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like too much at one point. And I said, Jesus, please. I promise I'll do it. But like one thing at a time. I'm just so grateful. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. Well, the answer is nothing is what I've done. But that's what's so good about the love of God. You don't have to do anything. He just gives you his love. And I didn't really know that. I didn't really understand it, because when you're used to thinking, I've said this before, but when you're used to thinking that love is something that you have to earn, right? Of course, the love of God that is so freely given feels foreign. It feels abstract, because why would this random God who made the universe, who made everything that exists, just randomly love me? And like, I'm so imperfect. But like, you don't understand. That's the very reason why he made us, is because he loved us and sent his child so that we can have access to him forever. Without Jesus, we would never have access to him because of how imperfect we are. But by sending us Jesus, we now have access to him when we know Jesus, and when we get to know Jesus, and when we start loving Jesus, because loving Jesus is what transforms our heart so that it no longer stays this harsh, just ugly human heart that is our nature, right? But the more we get to know Jesus, the more we focus on him and get to know his character, we get to love him more, and he starts to give us his heart. So now we become more like Jesus, and when we become more like Jesus, we have access to our Father, because he's our Father, and he literally wants us to be in relationship with him, and he wants us to be like his child, Jesus, you know? So it's like the past few months, just like as I'm writing the book, I'm just like, you know, like meditating on this whole idea that like this God of the universe loves me so much, and I'm not even that special, but he loves me, and he loves you just because. And all we have to do is just accept it. I want it. If all I gotta do is just accept your love, and you'll like love me and change my life and, you know, protect me and all the things, why would I not sign up for that? Because what's the alternative? I've done life without him so far. It's not that special. No, not even not that special. It's not only not that special, not that remarkable, like it's just a midlife. You also get harmed by people because you don't know who you are with him. You don't know that he created you in his image. You don't fully understand your power and who you are because you are his child. So when you do life not knowing your power in him, it's not special at all. It's just living day-to-day life with no purpose, no nothing. You're just there. Stuff is there. Cool. You may accomplish things. You may get the things, the houses, the whatever, careers. It means nothing because you don't know Jesus. And because you don't know Jesus, you'll truly never get to meet God. And when you don't meet God, how will you get that fulfillment of, you know, calling and purpose and genuine joy and all the things that as humans we long for? I will never forget Pastor Holly Furtick, Elevation Church. She made a sermon that changed my life forever. I think this was like 2021 or something. She said that humans have a God-shaped hole in their heart that they are just going to spend their lives trying to fill. And yeah, like you see it. We're trying to do all the things. You know, everyone has their thing that they reach for. They think once they get this, they'll be good. But no humans can take the place of God in your heart. No humans will ever be able to compare. No humans, like, it's tiny, small. compared to the huge God-sized hole in our heart. That place only belongs to him. He made us that way. So if you are wired like me, you're wired to love, you're wired to see beauty, you're wired for gratitude, you're wired to give love and to pour out this thing, right? If you were anything like me, you just thought that meant, like a significant other and just like, a soulmate and a person. And because you're good to people, you love people, you pour out light, but you long for that relationship and that level of visibility in someone, right? Because you just think, yes, a person is gonna be my other half and like give me the thing that I know I have and I can give to the world and to them. Yeah, that's all gonna be there. That could all be there. But even if you had that exact thing, it still would never replace God, the God-sized hole in your heart, because it's only meant for him. And what I'm learning now is that I can only have that thing, the human love and all the things that I want, the passion, the soulmate, like blah, blah. All that is great, but it'll only come as overflow after you fill the God-sized hole in your heart. Like once you have that, then love just becomes a byproduct of it. Human love, at least with a relationship with someone, it just becomes a byproduct of the overflow of love that God has for you. So now he allows you and someone else to show each other, well, not just someone else, or like his child, right? It has to be his child too. And you both have to be anchored in him so that your love with each other can now mirror the love he has for you. But if you don't have him in your heart first, and you don't know him and love him and truly know who you are in him, right? It's going to be impossible to love someone because God is love. He's not loving, though. He's love itself. So how are you going to love me as a person if you don't know God? You don't know how to love me like he loves me, I feel like a bar. That feels like a bar. But yeah, I'm sitting here about to work on my submission, on the submission of my book proposal. I'm getting a pimple right now. We're not gonna talk about it. It's fine. But I'm just so happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm the brokest I've ever been. Listen, I have not worked nearly as much as I should have been working, but God said sit down and write this book. So I'm being obedient. I'm writing the book. I'm just so calm, so peaceful, and it's not because of circumstances and the things that I have in my life. I have nothing right now. Don't even have a full-time job. I'm working per diem, just picking up shifts here and there, like no health insurance. I'm literally being held on to, like God has me in the palm of his hand right now. Like I'm being held and carried strictly by grace at this point, because yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this, it's not circumstances that are causing me to be happy right now. It's just this joy I have in my heart and this inner peace and sense of purpose and sense of just like knowing who I am and like knowing what he wants me to do and feeling alignment with like within my life and like knowing I don't have the language for it yet, right? But like I finally understand what people mean by alignment. When your life is aligned, I'm finally walking in alignment with who God says I am. And there's nothing like that feeling, especially now, 29 years old. Like I'm just now, first time experiencing this feeling, So I'm blessed and I'm about to go submit a book proposal today. Girl, I'm nervous, but it's okay to be nervous. It just means that this is important and you care about it. So it's okay to be nervous, Monty. It's all right. I'm going to have to pray before I submit, obviously, and make sure that I remind myself that he's in control and that I'm just merely a vessel that he's using to do the thing. So let your will be done. This is 25 minutes long. I really can yap. That is crazy. There's no reason why I should sit here and just talk for 25 minutes straight. Bye.